the Raya just need power. At the end of the day, it is as simple as that. And I just want to say 2 or 3 things that have marginalized areas with other sessional paper on matters energy. Honorable Speaker, we have had this issue, for example, when we had the last mile. And areas like Samburu, all areas where we assume that there is sunlight, we used to put solar in public institutions. That means schools, hospitals, and things like that. That means the rest of the country then get power, which is electricity, main grid. And what that means, then there was last mile, where any household of 600 meters from it are connected to power. But if you connect a public institution to power, Madam Speaker, it means that solar will not be connected to any other place, because you've only put the solar to that institution, Madam Speaker. And I remember when that policy was brought to this House, I opposed it. And I've tried to read through. I hope we are not doing that anymore in this sessional paper, because you will be marginalizing the same places where it's actually an assumption. Because also, some people just assume that those areas there is sun. What of the days there's no solar or there's no sun in those areas? Madam Speaker, we do not want to have any sessional papers that continue to marginalize some areas and others keep moving forward. So, Madam Speaker, the other reason that I would like to comment on this sessional paper is power supply and monopoly. Because this issue of Kenya Power Lighting Company, there's some people who call it lightning, because you fear rain. You know, when you see rain, it becomes Kenya Power Lighting and Company. Any town, when there's rain, there's a problem. And this monopoly, we have talked about it. The same way, His Excellency the President has been bold on some of the policies in this country. Can we become bold on issues to do with the monopoly of Kenya Power and Lighting Company? Because we have seen where we have a blackout. The entire country, our airport is in blackout. You know, people are stranded there. And you're wondering, how then do we even sell ourselves as an international airport, Madam Speaker, and we do not have power at the international airport that we have here, Madam Speaker? So it will take a lot of bold steps for us to deal with these issues of Kenya Power once and for all. Samburu County is part of this country. It cannot go for 3 days without power. So that, Madam Speaker, we're being told, oh, the line all the way from Lanet, you know, Samburu is at the end. So we have a problem in Nyandarua. We have a problem. There's a substation which we were promised that it will be fixed by December. We are getting to another December. There are business people there. There are children who are going to school. We have households who depend on electricity. We just have to be serious as a country. And we are also, Madam Speaker, we're the best in the region. We cannot always now continue to lag behind. And so I would just want to call on the chairperson, Energy, again, Honorable Gekaria, please leave a legacy that we have enough supply of energy in our country. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Rueda, are you on this? Kindly note it is 5 minutes, as had been allowed before. There is no one on the floor, Honorable Gekaria.
You have to give me information.
You can do it as you reply.
As you reply.
Honorable Rueda,
Asante Bispika. Ningependa kupongeza mwenyekiti na maneno haya ni muhimu sana. Nimesoma kidogo, sijamaliza yote, lakini mwenzangu Lesuda, Mheshimiwa Lesuda alimezungumza ni ya kweli. Mpaka sasa kuna sehemu zingine wodi nzima haina stima, hata hizo shule hakuna hata hiyo sola. Wodi ya Basuba ward kwangu chairman anafaa kujua kwamba wodi nzima mpaka sasa haina stima, hata shule hata hazanati hazina stima. Pia naona kamati itakuwa imezingatia mambo ya kama wale tunakaa kwenye visiwa vya bahari, ile majenereta ni kazi sana. Kama Faza ward sisi tuna generator ambao ndio tunatumia kwa stima, na kila mwezi haikosekani matatizo. Generator wakati wa jua zaidi ndio zinaharibika zaidi. Tumekuwa tukiwa tugawanyiwa stima, mara mji huu unapata, mara huu haupati. Siku zote imekuwa mbunge ni maswali hapa bungeni kuhusu generator, na natarajia hii session paper itakuwa imetibu hayo matatizo yote ambayo sisi tunapata. Na Wakenya wameshikanishwa au wameunganishwa kwa mambo kadhaa. Mojawapo ni national grid, nikisema kwa lugha ya Kimombo. Sisi Lamu Mashariki hatujaunganishwa na Wakenya kwa sababu eneo bunge lote hakuna hii laini ya national grid, hata inchi moja hakuna. Kwa hivyo chairman, ningependa nisikie vizuri, ni matarajio yangu haya utayazingatia. Kumekuwa na ubaguzi sana hapa bunge, hasa kwa bajeti ya hii upande wa energy. Ubaguzi unaofanya, utahakikisha kwenye budget hapa unaenda mbio, lakini utaona saa nyingine budget eneo bunge moja limepeta milioni 450 na eneo bunge langu la Mashariki ipate milioni 4 peke yake. Haya ni matatizo yamekuwa hapa, matatizo sugu. Wale wamekuwa tuko nyuma, tumeendelea kuwa nyuma, na saa hii ndio sisi tunategemea na sisi angalau tuunganishwe na wengine kwa hii stima. Kuna mradi umekuja wa Lamu Mashariki, mradi wa COSAP Island 2 na Island Ndawa, kisiwa cha Ndau, kisiwa cha Kiwayu na Mkokoni. Lakini huo mradi umechukua muda, contractor amekuja akanusa tu na kuondoka, hajarudi. So hizo zote chairman, najua kuna matatizo mengi, na sasa tumepata nafasi, acha tukwambie, na tumekuwa tukikuelezea tuangalie na sehemu zingine. Ni matarajio yangu, mimi najua wewe ni muungwana, kwamba hii na kamati imefanya kazi nzuri ukileta hii session paper, na ndio itatatua matatizo yote. Asante Bi Mwenyekiti.
Thank you. There seems to be no more interest on this motion. I'll call the mover to reply.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me first to thank members who have contributed on this: the Honorable Owino Baya, Honorable Undo, Honorable Naisula, and Honorable Roida. And Madam Speaker, I wish to encourage our honorable members that they need to support the government on this, because the paper outlines the government policy and provides a roadmap on where we need the country to be in the next 10 years in terms of energy production and distribution. Madam Speaker, you noted from the debate that energy is the core of all members that have contributed, and even those who have not contributed. And as they say, for any country to move forward, energy is the key enabler of the economy. And that's why we must thank this particular government. It's just in 4 years they have come up with this sessional paper to provide a roadmap on where we need to be as a nation. And as you, the Honorable Owino Baya pointed out to Honorable Undo, who is my neighbor. The Honorable Undo maybe perhaps, Madam Speaker, failed just to point out to the House that he has benefited been benefited on electricity distribution in his constituency, which has come from my own county, in the last 4 years, more than he did in the last 5 years. So, so Madam Speaker.
Point of order from member for Funyula.
No. Point of Honorable Speaker.
He has been mentioned.
My young brother is completely out of order. One, he was not in this parliament in the 12th parliament, so he does not know what happened. Secondly, since this this term, the electricity projects we have gotten cannot be comparable to the ones we got last term. So let him not delude himself, try to defend what's not defendable. Let's just reply. Yes, we have moved from 18% to about 60%, and that I thank God for my effort in this house. And in any case, it's not me who has benefited. Those projects have gone to taxpayers. It's not me.
Okay,
they have gone to the taxpayers.
Then.
He needs to put it very clear.
You've made your point. What is... there is nothing out of order, Honorable Member for Transoia. What is out of order? Oh, and Bayer, you will not do the speaker's job. What is out of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I felt like he was out of order because we cannot do a comparison of 4 years against 10 years.
What 10 years?
He's talking about the previous government.
Honorable members, you know this is a house of debate. I really am being very patient because I listened to Honorable Mulanya, and Honorable Mulanya has made Honorable Owino to respond to last term. And if I heard him right, he said in his last term compared to this term is different. That's what I heard him say. Yes, what is out of order, Honorable Naisula? I do not want us to take points of debate to be controversial when they are not.
No, Madam Speaker, what is out of order is we are starting debate afresh. What we need to hear from so that also the mover of the motion should actually just reply by giving concrete solutions on this matter. It's not a joke what was being brought up here, and it's also not politics. We've politicked for too long. We want to know what this sessional paper will solve on the issues that have been raised here by everybody who has raised issues. Otherwise, you'll waste time, and we have not had answers to our questions.
Honorable Mulanya, kindly reply, because
Thank you.
The idea of a reply is to listen to your colleagues.
Yes, and that's why, Madam Speaker, I was just responding to my neighbor.
Order, Honorable Mulanya, their contribution, and be able to respond, and even say whether there is anything that can be done to improve your proposal. That is the idea of a reply. And any member is allowed to make reference to their constituencies.
Thank you.
It is in order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the sessional paper raises 9 key issues that addresses the issue that my colleagues have debated on. And we are saying that one of the key things that members have raised time and again on the floor of the House is the issue of constant power blackout and other things, which are caused by aging the electricity lines. Madam Speaker, we note that the sessional papers address that going forward, we need to address this by replacing the aging network so that we can have a reliable power supply in the entire country. Also, the paper addresses the issue of e-mobility. We talk about, Madam Speaker, the country will, my colleagues will note that a few months ago we had the Iran-America war, and we had problems because we're over reliance on a petroleum product for movement. So when the paper talks about e-mobility, we say that we must have reliable power supply in the country so that we can have electric vehicles, electric motorbikes, and other things, so that in future, when you have such a thing that we have a Strait of Hormuz situation, we are not gagged down by having no fuel for the country to move forward. Madam Speaker, on the issue of clean cooking, is also an issue that this government started, and we are saying that where the Department of Energy is giving a roadmap on where they want us to be, because they say, especially in rural areas, our people still use charcoal and firewood, which is not a clean cooking method. So we are saying in session on paper that we need to move forward so that we ensure that our rural mothers, our rural brothers and sisters, they can access clean cooking methods, which can only be done if we have a stable power supply, which we are talking about power generation and power distribution. And Madam Speaker, on those few remarks, I wish to, before I reply, I give my chair just 1 minute.
You are totally out of order. Honorable members, please refer to your standing orders. If you wanted to donate time, you do it before your reply. So reply, Honorable Member for Nambale. Order members. Order members. And also realize you cannot donate to a member who has already spoken to this matter. It is totally out of order. Honorable Member for Nambale.
Yes.
Could you reply?
Thank you.
Are you on record?
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Speaker. With those few remarks, I beg to reply.
Honorable members, allow me to defer the putting of question on this to a later appointed date. Next order.
Order number 12, the County Assembly Services Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 34 of 2023, second reading.
This by the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Labor. And Honorable Chairs, allow me to recognize that today, Chairs, you have done very well, including the Chair of Implementation, who is still waiting for his order. So, Chairperson, Labor Committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I always do it very well. I know you know that.
Honorable
Speaker,
Chonga, don't take us to last week. I think the Speaker already prosecuted that problem. So kindly move.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the County Assembly Service Bill, Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 34 of 2023 be now read a second time. The bill was read a first time in the House on Tuesday, 27th of May, 2025, and was thereafter committed to the committee in line with the Standing Order number 127, subsection 1 of the National Assembly Standing Orders. Honorable Speaker, the bill seeks to amend the County Assemblies Act number 24 of 2027 to clarify the procedure for removal of a member of a County Assembly Service Board. Additionally, the bill proposes to provide a procedure for the suspension of a clerk of the County Assembly, taking into account principles of fair administrative action. In this respect, the bill proposes to set out the pendency of suspension. Further, the bill seeks to ensure that the clerk of the County Assembly exercises effective control over the staff of the Assembly in order to ensure the efficient running of the respective legislature. Honorable Speaker, in compliance with Article 118B of the Constitution and Standing Order number 127, subsection 3 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, the committee placed an advert in the print media on the 24th of June 2025, inviting the public to submit a memoranda by way of written statements on the bill. The memoranda were to be received on or before the 4th of July 2025 at 5 p.m. East African time. In addition, the committee via letters reference number NA/DDC/LAB/2025/025 dated 23rd July 2025 requested the key stakeholders to share the written memoranda by Friday, 1st of August 2025. Honorable Speaker, by the close of the submission deadline, the committee had received 3 memoranda: the Kenya Law Reform Commission, the County Assemblies Forum and Society of the Clerks at the table in Kenya legislature gave their views on the bill, which the committee considered and contained in Part 3 of the report. Honorable Speaker, before I provide findings of the departmental committee, allow me to give you a brief overview of the bill for members' guidance. The bill contains 8 clauses. 1. Clause 1 provides the short title, County Assembly Service, Amendment Act Number 2020, Act of 2023. Clause 2 proposes to insert the word administrative after procedural to ensure that the Act covers both procedural and administrative functions of the County Assembly. Clause 3 proposes a detailed petition process for the removal of a board member. Clause 4 clarifies that the clerk of a county assembly is responsible to a county assembly service board and not the chairperson of a county's assembly service board. Clause 5 proposes to assign a clerk of a county assembly power to exercise supervisory control over the county assembly staff. Clause 6 introduces a new section, that is 22A, to provide for a fair procedure for suspending a clerk of a county assembly. Clause 7 seeks to provide the timeline for responding to allegations by a clerk of a county assembly and the threshold for a county assembly resolution for removal requires support of two-thirds of the members. Clause 8 seeks to safeguard the rights of a staff on secondment. Honorable Speaker, upon reviewing the bill and the submission received, the committee made the following observations. 1. The procedure for the removal of a board member is outlined under Section 5B, Section 58, that is 58 of the County Government Act 2012. The bill seeks to assign a clerk of a county assembly power to exercise supervisory control over the county assembly staff. There is a need for clear guidelines or provisions for payment of remuneration and benefits of the officer on secondment by the primary employer or the receiving entity and guidelines on terms of secondment, including timelines and preservations of the primary employment terms. The provision of Clause 4 on the functions of the Secretary will streamline the reporting structure of the clerk of the County Assembly, ensure that the clerk is directly accountable to the County Assembly Service Board rather than to the chairman of the board. The provision of Clause 8 might disadvantage the primary employer, noting that the host organization benefits from the officer's expertise and skills. Highlighting the cases...
Honorable Ajara, you know you are out of order. Continue, Honorable Chonga.
Thank you, Speaker. Wanjala is like that. Highlighting causes of abuse of secondment in both levels of government, which involve regular transfer of staff, the committee noted the need for legal provision to guide secondment that will enhance protection of officers on secondment, ensure uniformity, and ensure that secondment is guided by the need for skills transfer or critical support. Honorable Speaker, emanating from the above observations, the committee proposed the following amendments to the bill. Clause 3 be amended by deleting Clause 3 subsection B of the bill because the procedure of removal of a board member is outlined under Section 58 of the County Government Act 2012. 2. Clause 5 of the bill be amended by deleting the proposed amendment to the Section 19 subsection 1 and inserting the following section immediately after subsection 19 subsection 1. Perform such other duties as may be assigned by the County Assembly. 3, Clause 7 of the bill be deleted because the existing framework is satisfactory. 4, Clause 8 of the bill be deleted because it might disadvantage the primary employer while the host organization benefits from the officer's expertise. 9, Honorable Speaker, in view of the above, the committee recommends that the House approves the bill with amendments as contained in the schedule of the amendments forming Part 6 of the report. Number 10, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and now request Honorable Lilian Sioi, a member of the committee, to second this motion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Sioi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance. I want to congratulate my chair and my fellow members of the committee for going through this, and we found out that this is a very good bill to support, because we have seen the manner that the clerks, the manner in which the speaker, if I might quote the example of Nyamira speaker, how he was removed from office. Madam Speaker, he was removed in a very awkward manner, which was very wrong, and I think he even went into depression because he formed another chamber in his own house, if you could remember. So it is important, just to be fair to these officers in office, the clerk, the speaker, and even the members in the board, to have procedures in which they can be removed. And we sat down, listened to the proposer, and we realized that the clauses that my chair has just read out are very prudent to be adopted. And in that case, Madam Speaker, I second the bill.
Very well. Honorable members, I therefore propose a question that the County Assembly Services Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 34 of 2023, be now read a second time. Member for Nambale.
I'm not on this.
Not on this. Funyula, are you on this? Owen.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the bill as moved by the Honorable Ken Chonga. Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly, or the devolved unit space, that space, there's a lot of legislation that must be done to align things so that they are properly done. One of the things that we have seen, the chaos that we have seen, especially on removal of speaker, removal of clerk, removal of CECs, removal of governors, that space requires some neatness. It's still not neat yet. And I think this bill brings that neatness. That the Honorable Ken Chonga, having moved this and brought it to the House, will guarantee safety for officers that work, especially in the county, in the assemblies, and in particular, the county assembly. The county assembly, there are certain officers, the speaker, the clerk, and the other staff who are senior. Sometimes their removal is very untidy. And it is done sometimes maliciously, sometimes it is done in such a way that it brings chaos. But I think this bill will bring sanity and order in that space. And that's what we need. This chamber has survived many years. It has been there many years. The Senate is a recent addition. But you have seen this chamber, I have not seen a motion to impeach a speaker. I have not seen a motion to remove a clerk for the many years that we have been here. How come these devolved units have only been there for like 15 years now? And yet we see a lot of removal of speakers, removal of clerks, removal in a very untidy, even this chamber has not successfully removed a cabinet secretary or a minister for the many years that it has existed. How come it is just child play in the county assemblies? As if they're not governed by law and order. This law brings order and sanity in the county assemblies. And we must, as a house, this hallowed house, this august house, must bring order in the county assembly. And therefore, I support that the County Assembly Services Board amendment bill needs to be fast-tracked so that you give proper power to the clerk, and you provide a proper mechanism on how to remove members who sit there when they are in error or where they are not aligned properly to the systems that are there. And I think this is a good bill. This is a bill that we must support to ensure we bring order. And it is this chamber, Honorable Speaker, that will bring sanity to the county assemblies. We have seen chaos. I saw a speaker who was removed, and he felt he was erroneously removed. He went and set up his own chamber, had his own sergeant at arms, Nyamira, and they were running two parallel chambers, Honorable Speaker. And a member could choose which chamber to attend to. And you wonder whether this is Kenya, Honorable Speaker. They need to learn from this chamber. This chamber has ensured law and order. We have had our own up and downs, but we have respected the Speaker. We have respected the clerk. We have respected the mess. We have respected our standing order. And that is the order that we must bring to those county assemblies. And I think this assembly is ready to midwife such kind of a transition. And therefore, I thank you, Honorable Ken Chonga, for being the person in the chair of the Labour Committee that is actually standing in to bring order in county assembly. May God bless you, and may the people of Kilifi South look at you with favorable eyes in the next election. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Owino.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sorry, I was looking for the bill. I had read it earlier, made comments, but I couldn't get the one I had made comments on. But let me also stand here and support the bill, the County Assembly Services Amendment Bill 2023, that basically sets procedures for the removal of the clerk and the members of our county service board. Honorable Speaker, as I proceed to do so, I just want to implore Senate, our house, our parallel house, they told us not to call them junior, our parallel house, that while us here, we go out of our way to expeditiously review and process their bills. Our bills, when they go over there, they take a neon. They never move at all. There must be this good spirit that we are legislating for people of Kenya. It's not about sibling rivalry. Because for sure, we will pass this bill and it will be assented. Let me also join my colleagues and clearly say that sometimes what happens in the county assemblies is a terrible embarrassment to democracy. And this probably has to do with the quality of those persons who fortunately or unfortunately get elected to sit in those county assemblies. They still treat those county assemblies as the way they used to treat county councils, kanjos, those kind of things. So that to an extent, there is no law and order. It's about goonism, it's about unbridled use of force to enforce a basic matter. However, Honorable Speaker, I just want to comment that the bill seems to be too descriptive. It is too verbose. Some of the issues being raised here or being purported to be legislated here could as well just be indicated in the standing order. So I would request, time allowing, I would need to move amendments. So some of the procedures are unnecessarily too long to be included in a bill. They ought to be in the standing order, respective standing order. Honorable Speaker, for example, it says that once they get a petition, the Speaker shall report the petition to the Assembly within 7 days. Upon reporting of the petition, the Speaker shall refer the petition to a select committee of the County Assembly to investigate the matter. Honorable Speaker, even our Public Service, Parliamentary Service Commission Act does not have all these elaborate procedures. All those things are contained in the standing order. So it will be we'll request the committee to consider a bipartisan approach to amendments to avoid this kind of a thing so that we make it much, much easier. Again, the same relates to the removal of a member of the board. Again, the same procedure, an advocate, investigation, all those kind of things. They do not hold constitutional office. They are just held by virtue of a statute. So why do you have to put in an act of parliament such an elaborate process and to go for whatever reason that it is? Honorable Speaker, again, it's just the same issue. But Honorable Speaker, another amendment that I've included here in clause 8 is to amend section 25 of the Principal Act by adding the following: the issue of secondment. That a member of the board can be seconded elsewhere but still retain their benefits. So in essence, Honorable Speaker, we just hope and believe that the bill, once it's cleaned up, to make it a bill that is to the standard of the National Assembly. Sometimes the bills that come from Senate have got challenges. So when they come here, it behooves us, having the technical capacity, to clean it up so that when it becomes law, it does not look as if it was done in a hurry or in a matter that does not indicate the quality that is required. Honorable Speaker, allow me to make a few comments generally on the issue of the county assemblies. Under the Constitution of Kenya, the county assemblies are supposed to oversight the county executives. A primary oversight of the county governments is the county assembly. We just hope and believe now that the clerk and the speaker have got some bit of some tenure, some security of tenure, they will guide the county assemblies to do their work properly. Honorable Speaker, it becomes difficult for any MCA or member of the county assembly to go and complain that there's no development in his ward, yet is the one who oversights the county assembly and prepares the bills and the budget. So it is important, Honorable Speaker, we need to up the game so that we produce quality documents, quality bills, quality policies that guide and make sure our county governments work properly. With those very few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support the bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Honorable members, I don't seem to see more interest on this bill. Chonga, reply.
Thank you, Speaker. First of all, let me take this opportunity to appreciate the seconder and all members who have participated in debating this bill. Madam Speaker, there are so many cases that we can count where we have seen a lot of indiscipline in our county assemblies. One has just been mentioned by Honorable Owenbaya. We have the case of Mandera, which turned so ugly, almost fatal. And just as what Honorable Owino has said, it gives a very bad image internationally, locally and internationally, to other assemblies of the world. And time has come of age that we ensure that we retain the same dignity that is in this house as well as in the assembly, because it's a house of rules just like this one. And it's therefore timely that all the rules pertaining to how the business of the house should be governed should confirm in terms of even discipline that is into it. So I stand and beg to move, Madam Speaker. Thank you. To reply, sorry. Thank you.
Very well. We shall defer the putting of the question. Next order.
Order number 13, motion that report on the implementation status of reports on petitions and house resolutions.
Chairperson, Committee on Implementation. Honorable Wanjala, give him the mic.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the third report of the Committee on the implementation status of reports on petition and resolutions passed by this House, which was laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 5th December 2024. Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Implementation is established pursuant to Standing Order 209 of the National Assembly Standing Orders. The committee is mandated to scrutinize and track resolutions of the House, including adopted committee reports, petitions, and undertakings issued by the National Executive. In addition, the committee is required to ascertain whether such decisions and undertakings are implemented within the prescribed timelines, and where delays or non-implementation arise, to ensure the satisfactory explanation are furnished. Honorable Speaker, in furtherance of this mandate, Standing Order 201 provides that within 60 days of a resolution of the House or the adoption of a report of a select committee, the relevant Cabinet Secretary shall submit to the appropriate committee a report outlining the status of implementation of the resolution. Honorable Speaker, consistent with the Article 153(4)(b) of the Constitution, Cabinet Secretaries are obligated to provide Parliament with full and regular reports on matters under their respective dockets. The Committee on Implementation, therefore, plays a central role in ensuring that the resolution of this House are translated into tangible outcomes for the citizens by holding the executive to account and safeguarding the efficacy and authority of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, in the discharge of its mandate, the committee engaged various ministries, state corporations, and agencies, seeking comprehensive status reports on the implementation of House resolutions, petitions, and adopted committee reports. To this end, the committee received both written and oral submissions from Cabinet Secretaries and accounting officers during sittings held between February and April 2023. Honorable Speaker, further, the committee formally communicated with the ministries, state corporations, and agencies requesting updates on the implementation of resolutions, petitions, and adopted committee reports passed by this House. In response, the committee received detailed oral and written submissions from Cabinet Secretaries and accounting officers of the respective state corporations, outlining the progress made in implementing the recommendations contained in the report adopted by the House as follows. A, the 22nd report of the Public Investment Committee on the consideration of the Auditor General reports on the financial statements of the National Social Security Fund, NSSF, that is 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. B, the 22nd report of the Public Investment Committee on its consideration of the Auditor General reports on the financial statements of Kenya Medical Supplies Agency, KEMSA, financial years 2012-2013, to 2016-2017. C, the 22nd report of the Public Investments Committee on the consideration of the Auditor General Report on the financial statements of National Cereals and Produce Board, NCPB, financial year 2015-2016 and 2016-2017. Number D, report of the Departmental Committee on Lands on a public petition regarding the restoration of land belonging to Ms. Teresia Wambui case in Kilifi North constituency. E, report of the Departmental Committee on Lands on a public petition regarding securing land ownership rights of Mwananga Vize residents in Likoni constituency. F, report of the Department Committee on Lands on a public petition regarding the irregular annexation and fencing of private land by Greatcom Limited in Matuga constituency in Kwale County. G, report on the implementation status of a statement by Honorable Owino, MP on Lutigi Broglio Space Center in Malindi, Kilifi County. H, report on implementation status of a motion by Honorable Gathonwa Muchomba, HSC, regarding implementation status of House resolutions on standardization and production of school uniforms. I, report of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on the consideration of the public petition on the payment of terminal dues on former employees of Pan Paper Mills Company Limited. I, report of the Public Petition Committee on a petition by Pastor Ochieng Odindo regarding Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission investigations of West Kano irrigation scheme. K, the Public Investment Committee special report on the inquiry into allegations of fraud and financial management at the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. L, the 19th report of the Public Investment Committee on audited financial statements of state corporations, Volume 1, reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Agricultural Finance Corporation, AFC, for the financial years 2003 to 2004 to 2011-2012. M, the implementation status of the 13th report of the Special Funds Accounts Committee, CFAC, on status of the Equalization Fund. N, report on the implementation status of the Public Investment Committee's PIC, 21st and 23rd reports on consideration of the Auditor General's report on the financial statements of state corporations, Coast Water Works Development Agency. Or the status of implementation on the resolution of the House on a motion sponsored by a member for Kakamega County, the Honorable Elsie Mohanda, MP, that the Ministry of Education develops a school feeding policy to cover basic education for pupils and sustains the program in order to ensure that children are maintained in schools for effective learning and improve their well-being. P, the implementation status regarding a motion on the establishment of the National Swahili Council in Kenya by the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage. Q, motion sponsored by the member for Maragua constituency, the Honorable Mary Wamaua, MP, urging the government to establish database centers in all civil registration centers for purposes of storing all the necessary information required for issuance of birth certificates to all children. R, report of the Departmental Committee on Labor and Social Welfare on the visit to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on a fact-finding mission on the welfare of migrant Kenyan workers in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia from February 27th to March 3rd, 2019. S, remote for the Departmental Committee on Energy relating to a public petition regarding the degradation of the environment along the Sondumiriu Dam due to the failure by Kengen to fully comply with the Environmental Impact Assessment of 1995 and report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Kenya Tourist Development Corporation for the year ended 30th June 1997 to 2012. Honorable Speaker, in addition, the committee undertook inspection visits to selected projects and state corporations to verify progress in the implementation of House resolution. This report, therefore, contains a comprehensive analysis of the responses received, the status of implementation at the time of reporting, as well as the committee's observations and recommendations. Honorable Speaker, in its consideration of the implementation status of House resolution, the committee made several general observations which have a direct bearing on effective implementation. Majority of the House resolutions require financial obligations for adequate implementation to be carried out by executive. There is need for appropriate of funds to ensure House resolutions are implemented as directed. There was inadequate budget allocated to the ministries, departments, and agencies to implement the recommendations. 2, government officials in the executive do not implement House resolution promptly, thus causing matters to unnecessarily delay. A case in point is the payment of former employees of Pan Paper Mills that has been pending, yet the report of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on its consideration of the public petition on payment of terminal dues to former employees of Pan Paper Mills Company Limited recommended that the government of Kenya, through the National Treasury, avails funds within the 2017-2018 financial year for payment